They're gonna kill us all if we don't fight.
We are in a valley, surrounded by a ridge. To the north, there's a river. To the east, there's a war. You will not live to see tomorrow. Not because of what you did, because of who you are.
We need to move. Oksa!
I want the demons to leave and I will fight.
They're over there! We are advancing with speed after the enemy.
Now we have to get back and tell the people we're at war.
So if I were to allow one more of your kind to kill one more white man, you could not face my lord on Judgment Day. Aren't you worried about her? Being out here in the woods all alone?
No, but you should be.
We should have never come here.
This is our home.
Then your home will burn.
There's something in these woods!
This is Mohawk land. We're in their house.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
That's the spirit. That's what I'm talking about. Baby.
All right, go, Gogs.
Welcome to Movie the Podcast. That's right, Movie the Podcast. It is week 2 of WW Easter, and we got to watch something.
Yeah, we got to watch it.
My pick starring the late Luke Harper. Is his real name Brody Lee?
No, that's
John
all.
Huber.
John
Yeah,
Huber.
his name
The
is
late
John.
John Huber. Mohawk.
Yeah.
About the Native American tribe, not the haircut.
Kind of both, though.
Kind of both.
That was actually better. That was a better line than any line in the entire movie. They should have said that. They should have done a winky camera thing.
You're worried about the Mohawks, the haircut?
I thought everybody liked the Chris Jericho. Ask him. Ask him.
Ask him.
Oh,
when he said
God.
ask him, I fell out. I was like,
Yeah.
Where's the list?
We're gonna have a lot to say about this movie. It's real bad. If you guys like movies where we suffer through the whole thing, I think all of us really, really had a hard time watching this.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, see, I don't think it was that bad.
I looked at my phone a lot. Like it wasn't like it wasn't original sin.
I was
We're living
yeah.
in a new world. We're living in a new world, TJ. We're a post-cosmic sin world now. Like Mohawk was fine.
You know what,
Mohawk was all right.
That is true. It's not as bad.
Let's do Driller Killer again. Driller Killer
It's not
can't be that bad.
Yeah,
It's not as bad as Cosmic Sin.
Vendetta. How bad could it possibly be? You know what I mean?
Well, didn't we love Vendetta? Wasn't that
We
awesome?
kind of loved it, I thought.
No, we don't give
Wasn't
it
that the one with the Dean Cain and the Big Show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we watched it now, we would feel a lot differently about it.
We remember it fondly, but
Yeah.
I think we gave it a very low score at the time.
Didn't the Big Show turn Dean Cain's wife's face into a puddle? Like, wasn't it super violent?
Yeah, and then that coined the term steampunk nuts on fleek.
Yeah.
That was it.
It was the first really good Gognopsis, I think.
Yeah.
But
It was something.
this show's kind of like the Akira manga, where every 2 years or something, there's some kind of extinction level event that resets all our perspectives.
Yeah, I think that Vendetta came in too early in our run, where we weren't fully just totally demoralized.
At that point, every movie was purposefully awful.
That is
you
true.
You wouldn't let us watch anything good unless it was a surprise.
Yeah, I still kind of agree with that stance. I think it's I think there's a validity to it, but
Yeah, you need a palate. You need a palate. You need some sorbet every now and then.
No, I agree.
I
I think when you just get berated with horrible movie after horrible movie, it really takes a toll on your psyche.
Yeah, we swim in deep water, boys.
And it's the deepest water. Anyway, what did you all watch this week? Sean, you weren't here last week. Go.
I watched Cosmic Sin.
Oh, you did watch it anyway?
God bless you. Oh,
no,
you son of a bitch.
of course not. Why would I ever do that? I listened to the show. It was funny.
We all were like, Sean purposely missed the show so he didn't have to watch this shit-ass movie.
Like, I didn't... Just listening to the thing, I'm like, wait a minute, which Bruce Willis Frank Grillo movie? Because this could have been like a Val Kilmer situation where I watched the wrong movie by accident. Because, like, how many of those movies are there?
There's two. The two came out within the like 3 months of each other, and the same guy wrote both.
They were shot next door.
Yeah, one is called Breach, and one is called Cosmic Sin.
We got to watch Breach.
No, we don't.
Well, maybe all the talent got sucked into Breach.
It's the same people that made it. It's probably all the same actors.
Yeah, but what if it's like twins, right? Like one of them's Schwarzenegger and one of them is DeVito.
Cosmic Sin was the shit that was left over.
Yeah, he was the shit that was left over.
Well, it's like Uwe Boll made...
He named the railgun Julius.
Uwe Boll made a serious Auschwitz film, apparently. I've never watched it.
Was it called Auschwitz?
Anyway, and then they also made Blood Rain 3, which was in World War II, so he used all the same people in both movies. So it's the same idea. Anyway, Sean.
We call that meeting stacking.
I watched, the only thing I watched was The Sound of Metal, which I just finished.
What'd you think of that?
Well, it's funny, like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I live by myself now. TJ, you might know this. Like, you always find yourself, like, doing something.
Oh, yeah.
So it's hard to just watch a movie just to watch a movie. Like, you're either, playing video games or doing or reading or whatever the fuck.
That's my entire existence, yeah. And then I have the fun thing of, like, I'm filled with anxiety because I feel like I'm doing the wrong thing, and I get anxious from, like, well, if I do this, I can't do this. And I do, it's horrible.
And so, like, the only movies I really, really watch, unless it's something, like, I really want to see, are movies for the show. And it got to the point where I was like, I don't know if I actually like movies or not. Because it's like, even with this movie, which, this movie being Mohawk, not this movie being The Sound of Metal, it's, like, I kind of watched it, but I'm still, like, on the phone and fucking off and doing whatever. But this is like, oh, yeah, movies are good sometimes. Like, I can pay attention and enjoy this.
I enjoyed that movie quite a bit myself.
Yeah, I thought Riz Ahmed was really good. He has a very convincing, like, kind of from our area American accent. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds like people we actually know.
Yes, he does. Also, I thought that the deaf coach or whatever, I thought that guy was really good. I don't even think that guy's like an actor. Like, I think that he's like just a deaf guy. He was fantastic in the movie.
I like it. They do this in movies I like a lot too with foreign languages where like the character doesn't understand language, they won't subtitle it, which I enjoy. So like you kind of grow with the character as he starts to learn the language. Like you start to kind of understand what's going on. The sound mix is excellent.
Yeah,
it really kind of puts you in there. I don't know, man. Like I really like this movie a lot, and like as much as I hate Amazon, it's nice that they're around because. Warner's isn't going to make this movie anymore. You know what I mean? Like, who's going to make this fucking experimental sound movie about metal drummers going deaf? You know, like
I think this is one of the best examples of like where we are with everybody having their own streaming platforms and stuff getting made. Like, you're absolutely right. Like something like this, this couldn't have gotten a theatrical release, or if it would, it was like very limited. You know?
Yeah. No, I love this movie a whole lot. Like, it's a strong recommend.
I keep seeing on my Amazon like front page to check it out, so I'm going to look.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed it.
I guess it's up for Best Picture, but it'll probably lose to Fences 2 or whatever.
No, it's going to lose to fucking Promising Young Woman.
Oh yeah. What's nice with this, like, because this movie could easily be like a Fences type movie, because it's not really a lot going on. But they keep the camera moving, the sound's good, like it's like an actual movie, like people actually took some pride in the craft.
Their staging. I like how they shot all the like actual like performance stuff. It was cool.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. I like that actress too that played his girlfriend. She's the one that played the girl with the horrifying face scar in Ready Player One.
Oh yeah, that fucking like the woman that could never be loved.
Yeah.
God, what a good movie that was.
Bitch.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to get some representation finally.
Well, I mean, Alec, you should be happy about Space Jam 2 because it just looks like Ready Player Space Jam. It's like that's the whole plot.
I laughed so hard.
No, I want Ready Player 2. I don't want Space Jam.
I'm sure they're making it.
Yeah.
I know they put a book out. I'm sure they're going to make the movie.
Whoever it was that said it's LeBron James versus the internet and Don Cheadle is the internet, like that made me laugh really hard. So I appreciated that.
I think it was Kobe.
But yeah, that was all
anything
we
else?
watched. Nah, that was it. Alec.
Alec.
I watched 4 things.
Holy shit.
Wagons East, which I'd never
Love
seen
it.
before.
Shit.
Oh man,
That's,
come on.
That's
That movie's not good.
That movie sucks shit.
Wait, the John
Yeah.
Candy movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, his
I've never
last
seen it.
movie, he died during filming. That
Oh.
movie sucks.
He probably died because of filming that movie.
It was him and
Sounds
Jerry. Was it Jerry?
Richard Lewis.
Richard Lewis, not Jerry Lewis.
You're mixing up your Lewises.
My Lewis.
Yeah, it's got Richard Lewis.
I'm thinking of
God,
Almost
the
Heroes, which
the
came out at the
Coob
same
from
time.
Parker Lewis Can't Lose. That's a much better movie than this. That movie's fun. Yeah, Wagons East sucks. It sucks a big pile of shit. It's not funny at all, and it's like John Candy didn't want to make it. That was still, I guess, that was close to the tail end of studio contracts, and he was contractually obligated to make this movie, and he was like, I don't want to make it. It's gonna suck, and they forced him to make it, and it killed him.
Could you tell he didn't want to make it? Was it
No,
I haven't
not
seen it in
really.
a long time.
Not really. He put in the work. He was doing what he could do with it, but it's just not funny. It's not funny at all. And Richard Lewis is not a funny person to me.
No.
No, I never really
having
cared for him.
I've never
be the other comedic lead.
I never
John
got
McGinley's good in it. He's in it. He's good. He plays a gay bookstore owner in the Wild West, and then he also is an outstanding gunfighter.
Huh.
He plays.
He's good in it.
John McGinley plays off-model gay a lot in movies. Remember, he was the gay rapist cop in that motorcycle movie with Tim Allen.
Yeah, that's right.
Wild Hogs.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I take it back. Richard Lewis is funny in one thing. He's funny in Curb Your Enthusiasm. In the episodes he's in on that.
He was funny when he was talking about looking at Shaq's dick at the gym. That was the only time he genuinely made me laugh.
And he was funny in not The Princess Bride, Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
I think he represents stand-up comedians in an era where I didn't I was a child and I probably just didn't understand it, but it's that old school brick wall with the microphone and the suit jacket. That is a certain genre of comedian that he represents that I never really enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean he's representing the bottom end of that because there's good comedians that were in that.
He was
Yeah, but I didn't dig his comedy.
Yeah, I didn't either. That's what I'm saying. But he's definitely of that era.
Every time I think of people like that, I'm always like, "You'll never get me, Jake Johansson. I know you're not funny." Remember when Comedy Central was just the A-list?
Oh god. Oh god. Yes. Yeah, I remember the infancy of Comedy Central, and they used to just play it just shit. And then there was the Oasis was they play the good SNL reruns, they play the 90s era SNL, and then Dr. Katz was also on Comedy Central, which was good. First time I ever heard what's his name, H. John Benjamin on Dr. Katz. Anything else, Alan?
3 more movies.
3 more?
They all these came out in the past couple of weeks on
shit,
and I think they're all actually Netflix.
Did you watch that Melissa McCarthy movie?
Did you watch Thunder Force?
I did. I loved it. It's really good. I enjoyed it.
You're the only person in the country that liked that movie.
I thought it was a blast. I thought it was a lot of fun.
I watched it today, and I was like, I watched the trailer. I was like, oh no, I don't know.
It's funny. It's I enjoyed it. It's really stupid, but I don't know. I like Melissa McCarthy generally, and it's her doing the same thing. It's doing her normal shtick, and it's written and directed by her husband Ben Falcone, who
he's
writes
been
and directs most of a lot of stuff she's done. He did Spy, I think.
Spy was pretty good. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not great, but it's pretty good. Jason Statham's really good in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Bobby Cannavale's in it. He's really good. Jason Bateman's really funny.
Do you see his home?
Jason Bate. No. Well,
No.
wait, which one?
Cannavale.
No.
That
Neither.
dog at all? How about
That guy's dick is huge. In Boardwalk
hug at
Empire, it
all.
takes up like the whole screen.
But Jason Bateman is a character who has like crab claws for hands.
The Dread
And
Lobster.
They make all these like jokes about Old Bay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's fun.
Do people
They use it as like
people
they use it.
nationwide know what Old Bay is?
I think certainly on the East Coast, I think most people know are aware of it.
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm asking.
I mean, we all know what Tabasco sauce is, and that's like
Yeah, but that's not regional. Tabasco sauce.
it's big out of like Tennessee or Kentucky, where the fuck it's from.
Well, fair. I don't know. I thought Old Bay
you
was
boys
a
like
regional brand.
Mexico. Watched a movie called Moxie, which is Amy Poehler wrote and directed it, and that was pretty good.
What's it
It's
about?
about a young girl who is tired of the of the patriarchy, so she becomes like a rebel in her high school. Starts a club like based on like female punk music.
Oh.
I liked it. I thought it was enjoyable, and Amy Poehler's in it, and she's funny.
Does she end up fucking Matt Gates for cash at the end of it, or no?
I don't think so. I don't remember that part. If it did happen.
You're pretty up on your Netflix movies. Have you seen? There's supposed to be some like black teen comedy, like black meaning like noir, not like teen comedy. It's called like God Yes or Say God Yes or some shit like that. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
I think I've seen the trailers, but I haven't watched it.
Okay, I heard it's really good.
I'll give it a shot. I'll give anything a shot. Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was well done, and Amy Poehler's a funny lady and writes smart stuff. The last thing I watched, which was a million times funnier than I ever expected, and I'm shocked how much I loved it, was a Bad Trip.
I almost watched that today too. It was good.
Oh, I fucking loved it. It's so funny.
I like Eric Andre a lot. So
like Eric Andre is great. Lil Rel is great. Tiffany Haddish is great, and it's basically like Borat.
Oh, okay.
Where it's like scripted stuff, but all.
We lost Alex.
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
Say that again. We lost you a little bit there.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, we did.
It's like a Borat style movie. It's like some scripted stuff and some not scripted stuff.
What's the? I never heard of it. What's the like?
The Netflix original. It just came out.
I just said the gist. It's like a Borat movie.
Oh, I mean, it's like they're just going around interviewing people, or like is there any sort of plot, or like
Eric Andre is driving from Florida to New York to be with the girl of his dreams from high school that you just ran into again at the car wash that he works at. And Lil Rel goes with him, and they steal Tiffany Haddish's car to get up there because she's supposed to be in prison.
It sounds funny.
It's like if
Sean, calm down.
My dogs are also about
Sean just barked.
Like honestly, like I like Eric Andre a lot. I think a lot of people, if they don't like Eric Andre and don't like his like shtick, would not be a fan of it. But I fucking loved it. Like I thought it was hilarious. I was dying watching.
I'll definitely check that one out.
It's so funny. I think it's under an hour and a half. It's like an hour 28, I believe.
Perfect.
Or something like that. I loved it. Like I can't recommend it enough.
All right.
Everybody watch Bad Trip.
Did you ever see? Why are all these movies called Bad? Did you ever see Bad Grandpa, the Johnny Knoxville movie?
No.
That's really funny too.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the.
Isn't that called Bad Grandpa? The one with Johnny.
Yeah, that's correct.
With Robert De Niro and.
That's Road Trip
or War with My Grandpa or some bullshit. No, you're right. There's that one where Robert De Niro bangs Aubrey Plaza. I think that is called like Bad. Maybe that is.
No, that I think is like Road Trip or something because that's with Zac Efron, I believe.
Yes, that's correct.
There's another one where it's like a younger kid called like Grandpa War or something like that.
Dirty Grandpa. was
Dirty
scary.
Grandpa.
Yeah.
Oh god. Well, Bad
Dirty
Grandpa with
Grandpa.
Johnny Knoxville is very funny, and it's the same idea. It has a plot, but then all the like comedy bits are like jackass bits. Like they, like remember the jackass bit where Johnny Knoxville was the old man and his like
I
balls
never
were
liked
hanging.
that bit, so I'd be
I
surprised
thought
they
it was
could carry
funny.
a whole movie.
I don't know. The movie was funny because he's got this like foul-mouthed little kid with him the whole time, and the kid's really funny. I recommend it. I had a good time watching.
Spike Jones is gonna give this retard a haircut.
Other than that's all the movies I watched. The only other thing I watched was Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I still need to catch up. I'm 2 weeks behind now.
Yeah, it's good. I don't know. It's not great, but it's good. I'm curious to see where they go with it, though.
I'm not as caught up. I'm not as caught into it as I was with WandaVision. Like WandaVision, I was really excited every week, and like Winter Soldier, I'm like, yeah, it's good, but like I don't know. I've waited 2 weeks now, so.
I haven't watched any of those Disney Plus Marvel shows, but just from hearing you guys talk about it, sound like they both kind of ran out of steam a little bit towards the end, which is weird for a show that's like so long.
I think the ending of WandaVision was kind of up and down, but like overall, that show was great. I thought that show was fantastic. I thought the ending was a little punchy. I wish it kind of went a different way, but I still enjoyed it overall a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Falcon and Winter Soldier is not bad. It's just like it's good. It's like if it wasn't a movie in the MCU, it wouldn't stand out. It's good, because they're all good. It's just not like great. But there's a few more episodes, so we'll see where they go with it. Because like they're like flooding the world with the super soldier serum.
Yeah, it's kind of like the plot of Ultimates 2 a little bit.
Yeah, so maybe we'll get something like that, or maybe we'll get X-Men out of it or something.
Which also, now that I think about it, was the plot of the Boys comic book, which came
It's also
first.
the plot of the Boys, the show, right?
Yeah, Mark Millar rips everybody off.
Yeah, but I think Millar came first, if I'm not mistaken.
Wasn't that also
the
plot of the Avengers versus X-Men with the Terrigen Mist?
Oh God, I forgot all about that. Yeah,
the Avengers versus X-Men wasn't the Terrigen Mist; it was the Phoenix Force. But I forget which one was the Terrigen Mist. Was that? That was in War of Kings or something like that.
Yeah. Fucking comics are stupid.
Comics are stupid. Oh my God.
All right, Alec. Who's next?
TJ.
Me. I'm TJ. I only watched one thing, and it was an hour of the most like disturbing shit I've ever seen. I watched an animated movie that I've been meaning to watch literally for about 15 years now. It's called Midori. It's a infamous anime where it's basically banned everywhere, and I finally got my hands on it, and I watched it, and I know why it's banned everywhere, because it's really fucked up. It's one of the most fucked up things I've ever seen, and this is coming from me.
Man, you've seen Dogtooth.
This makes Dogtooth look like a Disney movie. So this movie, Midori, is about this young girl who's, I think they go out of their way to tell you that she's 12 years old. She's orphaned. Her mother is found dead in her room, half consumed by rats. That's how the movie opens. Then a creepy old man forcibly adopts her and throws her into this traveling freak show where all the freaks basically abuse and rape her. And then, like, a nice freak shows up who is a dwarven magician who can put himself into a bottle. And then the dwarven magician falls in love with, again, underline, the dwarven magician is an adult man. He falls in love with a 12-year-old girl. They get married. Then...
Did Ralph Bakshi make this movie?
Dude, this movie is so fucked up. Then, I don't know, shit gets even weirder. And then, like, the dwarven magician is the reason anyone's coming to their show. Because all the other freaks are kind of passé. There's one freak that looks like oh my God. There's one freak that has well, you find out, I only know this because I read the Wikipedia. I guess he has leprosy, but he has no arms, and he's wrapped up like a mummy. And he can shoot arrows with his feet. That's his bit. Then you got one chick who's called the Snake Woman, and she like fucks snakes on on the stage. And then you have this other.
Would that make, if that makes you the Snake Woman, would that make like you the woman?
I suppose, yeah. So so then you have a strong man who's, typical like circus strongman. He's pretty normal, except he fucks the Snake Woman, and they fuck right next to the little kid, which is great. Then let's see, I'm missing somebody. Oh, you have I'm only calling this a freak because the rest of them are freaks, but you have an intersex, a trans woman who's called like something the lady boy, and you find out like she's dressed like a girl, but she's a biological man. I'm probably saying, I'm tripping over my words here, but I don't mean to. That character is being raped by the owner of the freak show. It's
so there's a lot. What I'm getting here is there's a lot of non-consensual sex in this movie.
It's like, it's insane, and all this shit. This movie is only 3 minutes long. They cram all of this like horrible shit like right next to each other, and then this is like, so. The dwarf magician and the freaks get into an argument, and then like something happens where in the middle of a performance, the crowd starts making fun of the dwarf magician, and then he uses actual magic to contort everyone in the audience into weird like Cronenberg monsters.
He wasn't a real magician before?
A real magician implies that he's using illusion. This is I'm saying,
an illusionist.
I'm saying
illusion.
Okay, all right, asshole. What do you call a guy that works a fucking kids party? A magician or an illusionist? You call him a magician, you fucking dickhead. You know you do. Anyway.
Not if you grew up watching Arrested Development.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Tricks are something whores do for money, Michael.
You're as cold as ice. This movie is fucking nuts. So after he turns all the people into Cronenbergs, it just cuts to like a normal scene, and like the manager of the freak show is like, you guys, we're going to lose all our money. Those people are going to sue. To which one of the performers goes, well, most of them turn back to normal. What the fuck is this movie? That's kind of it. Like, it's, and then I was shocked and weirded out. Also, by the way, this movie was the passion project of like one person. So on a technical level, it's kind of impressive because this is you can tell when you watch it, like it's animated in a very weird style. There's a lot of like single frames, and there's a lot of like push pull stuff, but like done with like hand animation. So it's very strange looking, and it makes it even creepier. Like, and the anime style, like the character drawn style, it looks kind of like, the best way I can describe it would be like a manga version of King of the Hill. Like everyone has those weird like Mike Judge teeth and mouth. Like everybody's kind of weird looking. So like, the whole thing is just, it's just horrific in so many different ways. And it doesn't make a lick of fucking sense. So anyway, after I watched this thing, I had to read up on it. I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? So then I come to find out that this story of Midori, which this is what the movie is called, but this goes back like way back in Japanese history. And this story is like an archetypical, or I'm probably saying that wrong, right? That's
correct.
It is a story that has been retold like 1,000 times, and it's just about this type of character, an orphan girl that gets forced into working like a sideshow. And this is like a story that's been passed down for like 600 years.
So this is a pillar of Japanese culture.
It's fucking insane. And like, apparently 2 years ago, they made a live action version of this fucking movie, which I can't imagine. I have to hope that the lead actress is not 12 in that. But But when I say like this movie, it's animated, but like they show everything, like everything. It's fucked up. It's I mean, you always hear about these movies that get banned, and a couple of weeks ago or a month or two ago, actually, we talked about Battle Royale, and one of the reasons Battle Royale 1 got so much hype before anyone really even saw it is because it got banned in a whole bunch of countries, and people, you hear that, and then it gets hyped up, and people want to get their hands on it, but then you see it, and it's almost always like not that shocking or horrific. I mean, there's a movie that got banned a million years ago that I saw, like Island of Death, which is really stupid, and it's schlocky, and it's not like, it doesn't stick with you. It's just a piece of shit. Or like something like a Serbian film, same thing. But like this movie is like, yeah, you guys are probably right to ban this one. I was like, this movie is so fucked up. There has to be some kind of artistic merit to it. Like it's so fucking weird. Like the way it's paced and the way that, because the other thing is that the story is broken up into like acts, which they call songs. Like it's very, very strange. Like as I was watching it, I was like, I feel like there's like cultural shit that I'm missing, but then by the time it's over, I'm like, nope, just burn it all to the ground. Like, it is a tough sit. It is a very tough 48 minutes or whatever it was. But it's on my Plex, so feel free to watch it. Hard-coded subtitles, by the way, so somebody went out of their way to actually put that right in the file. You couldn't pull those subtitles off the internet. But that's all I watched. Gogs. Watch any pedophile movies like I did?
No, I didn't watch any. I didn't watch any loosely, like lightly veiled animated.
It wasn't lightly veiled at all.
But I did watch. I mean, I watched something that probably evoked the same emotions. I watched Turbo, the story about the snail that gets super racing powers. It's stupid as hell.
Is that a Netflix first animated movie?
No. It got a theatrical release. It made bukus of money. It made like
Ryan
DreamWorks.
It's DreamWorks.
Sure?
It's like, yeah, it's Ryan. They might have made a sequel on Netflix or a TV show on Netflix. But it was like Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson. There's a ton of people in this movie. It's a DreamWorks movie, so it's like that weird. It's like the GoBots to Disney's Transformers. Like it's like this is. It's super weird, but we watched it. My kid wanted to watch it, so I was like, all right, I'll watch it with you. And well, that happened. It's like just about a snail who somehow gets like the ability to go 226 miles an hour. And he ends up racing against Bill Hader at the Indianapolis 500. Real weird. Kind of dumb. And then I watched, it was almost like I watched a full movie. I watched the first 2 hours of the Snyder Cut of Justice League. I got 2 more to go.
Yeah.
It's happening. Like it's a whole, man, they really, really love it whenever an Amazonian comes on screen to just play whatever that song is. Like that just keeps happening.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing about what you watched?
My favorite thing about what I watched?
About the first half of Justice League.
Aquaman. Like I don't hate Aquaman. Like I'm enjoying that.
The correct answer is The Flash.
Oh, The Flash has barely shown up.
He's barely in it. He's only 2 hours in.
You also got to remember Gog's predilection towards handsome mermen. So,
I do.
Like,
There's a scene though. There's a scene there where Aquaman comes out of the ocean. He saves the guy on the ship that was going down. He flops him on the table. And then he walks back out into the storm, and then he takes the shirt off. They're like, why were you wearing a shirt in the first place, bro? Just don't rock the shirt. I did get the introductory scene of The Flash, which I actually like, when he's going to the pet store interview, and I was like, okay, this is punchy and fun. I like this. It's they're sort of just now touching on the cyborg stuff. Like they spent a lot of time on, is it Themyscira, wherever the Amazons are from?
Sure.
And And the scene with the reactionary terrorists, or what they're called, that are just trying
Oh
to
my god,
blow up
that
either
fucking
that bank
scene.
or a school or a museum
Or all
house.
of Europe. It's unclear.
Yeah, she yeets this bomb that's going to destroy what she said was like 4 city blocks.
Yeah, but then she proceeds to blow up that entire building
She turned
anyway.
that guy into dust. But
Instead
anyway.
of just like punching him or something.
Yeah, I mean, Gal Gadot. Oof.
She is awful. Wait till you get to that Superman fight. Kal-El, no!
Yeah, but and there's a scene where fucking as we're just critiquing the first half of the movie, like I don't know how Willem Dafoe in it with a straight face tries to hand Khal Drogo a 5-pointed trident and be like, take your mother's trident, and I was like, it's 5 points, bro. Come on, like it's not a trident.
It's like in Atlanta. It's like how with softball you have like the men's softballs and the women's is slightly smaller.
Yeah, that's it.
Like in Atlantis, their tridents are slightly different.
Yeah, it's a lady trident has 5 points.
Yeah.
But that's all I watched. I watched half. So stay tuned next week for my review of the second half of the Snyder Cut. I'm in the intermission.
I can't wait.
Maybe try
So
to.
basically,
Go ahead, Sean. Sorry.
Now the joke's terrible, so now I feel bad for stopping the show. But I was going to say, maybe Trident's like Band-Aid and Coca-Cola in Atlantis. Like the first person to make one of those things was the Trident Corporation.
Oh.
It's the Xerox.
It's like everybody calls for an Uber, no matter what ride share you're using.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many points, it's still a trident. What were you saying, Alec? What do you want to find out about the second half?
I want to try.
I want to find out what your rating would have been for the first half, because I want to see how much more you like the second half. You're gonna love.
I mean, the first half is like
you're gonna love the second half.
First half is like a 4. I don't know. It's he's trying something. I don't know. I'm waiting. There's a lot of just preamble. Like
I think you were gonna fucking love at least the last hour, but I think you're gonna love the second half.
The last 45 minutes are really good.
Yeah, like the first half is just like, I mean, there's a lot. It's overscored. There's just a lot. There's just a lot going on. But not much. There's a lot going on for not much.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Like there's everything. There's particle effects, and there's just like stuff that's not. Like,
it's like an illusionist. Like an illusionist. There's all kinds of flare and stuff going on.
Right.
But just one
is this flare?
But I'm waiting for the magic to show up. But anyway, that's what I watched. I watched half of that and all of Turbo. So
you should watch Turbo Kid.
Turbo Kid's better than Turbo.
They got a video game coming out. I'm very excited.
A Turbo the Snail video game or a Turbo Kid?
Turbo Kid video game, but it's like still early in development.
Well,
but
I hope it's
like
some sort of cooking simulator.
No, it's like a 2D like side-scrolling game. Looks cool.
Oh, okay. I'll fuck with that. Maybe making a Metroidvania.
Yeah, or like Mega Man, since that's kind of like what his suit kind of.
I'm into it.
All right. Everybody went, right?
Yeah.
Did Sean go?
Yes.
Yeah, Sean saw Sound of Metal. That's right. All right. Feature presentation was Mohawk. Oh man. Who wants to do it? I'm gonna let you guys decide.
By smelted Delta rules.
No,
so
I'll give it a shot.
Go.
Gogs did Cosmic Sin for me last week.
Fair.
So I'll take my hand.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You just like dove in front of a bullet for me.
Yeah, he put his helmet on the grenade.
So we start off with a 15-minute montage of maps. That's the credits.
Also, to like COD music, like it sounds like I'm playing fucking Modern Warfare the whole time. It's like, when is this supposed to take place? Like, oh.
And then we descend upon some of the aforementioned Mohawk, the Mohawk tribe. We meet Calvin. Is that the guy's name?
It's like Kiriwate or whatever with the mom. There's Oak, and there's Calvin, and I don't know if everyone's banging each other or their brother and sister. I have no idea.
It says in like the description that Calvin and the British guy are both lovers with Oak.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Oak is the lady.
She's lover. Like they're all They're like a throuple.
A throuple. I didn't catch. Did anybody else catch that? I did not.
I mean, I knew they were all
No,
banging.
I thought the two Native American young people were brother and sister.
That's
No,
what
I knew
thought.
that. I knew that for a second there, like the mom says something like, I don't trust you to be. You use Calvin as a shield for your body and to warm your bed. I thought Calvin and Joshua were banging, but apparently they're just spit roasting Oak.
Yeah, because there's a line later on where she says she's pregnant, where he's like, "Is it mine or his?" Because she's sleeping with both of them. Anyway,
I was very checked out in this movie, so I'm not surprised I missed dialogue.
So Calvin is the Native American. Hezekiah? No, he's the bad guy.
Joshua was the British
Joshua
fellow.
was the British guy.
Yeah. This takes place during revolutionary times.
This is the War of 1812.
1812.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad you brought that
Close
up.
enough.
Because they have, like, these people that are, like, basically still British have these incomprehensible Southern American accents for some reason.
Yeah.
That first true American that showed up that sounded like he was straight out of, like, Kentucky.
Yeah, because like the revolutionary people like still considered themselves British. Like they didn't really consider themselves American until way later.
Well, yeah.
Like I think them calling them the British is for the audience's benefit because it's the uniforms and everything are already super confusing.
Well, it's like you moved to Florida, but you still probably consider yourself a Marylander. You've only been there a few,
No, I crash into Canadian cars and yell locals only.
So Calvin Two Rivers goes apeshit.
Two Rivers?
And kills like the entire Fort George. He apparently sneaks off in the night and kills a bunch of American soldiers. So a group of American soldiers starts coming looking for the Mohawks. Calvin, Joshua, and Oak are going through the forest, and they come across a small platoon of soldiers led by, well, not led by, but he's part of them, WWE Easter Causality, John Huber.
Causality.
The whole reason we got to watch this movie. And Hezekiah Holt, who is like the leader. What a name! He's the leader of the platoon of Americans. And they have like a patrioticness about them that rivals like Trumpers now.
Yeah,
like they're all about America. A gunfight ensues. I think they kill one or two of the platooners, and then the Mohawks retreat back and find some other Mohawks, including Oak's mom. So it's like 6 of them instead of 3, and then the platoon of soldiers immediately finds them. And there's another shootout that thins out both of their ranks a little more.
That scene right there, like they're in like this forest that's like planted in rows, and you have like pretty good visual everywhere. I don't know how that group got the drop on them and surrounded them without anyone knowing.
I think it's also important to point out at this point that this movie is shot like dog shit. Like I don't know if I can remember a movie being shot as poorly as this movie is in recent memory.
It's fucking Hardcore Henry or something. Like it's impossible to watch. Like there's all these POV shots where it's got that Zack Snyder on Krypton problem in Man of Steel where like the camera has no need to be moving yet. I think God said it was a brave choice to use a kangaroo instead of a fucking tripod. It's like it's nauseating.
Also, I have to stop the show to show Alec. I tried to take my movie pass card out of my wallet and I broke it.
Oh no! I'll get you another one, buddy. I'll call headquarters.
Thank you. Sorry, I just saw it in front of me.
But there's shots in this movie that are like tight on people's faces where like their eyes are halfway cut off by the top of the camera. Like it's just
the
framed
framing.
So
yeah, the framing and like it's so bad. Like I can't believe this guy directed another movie. Like this seems like a student film. Like it's very.
So this movie has apparently people really like this movie.
Amazing.
It's got a 4.6 on IMDb, which isn't great, but it's got a 70 Metascore and like an 80 on Rotten Tomatoes.
The 80, I looked that up. The 80 on Rotten Tomatoes, there's only like 20 reviews. So
that's 20 reviews. It's not like there's like 2.
Yeah.
People love his haunted house movie, The We Are Still Here, which is fucking atrocious.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure I talked about on the show a million years ago. Because I when Sean brought it up, I was like, I haven't seen that, and then I looked it up. I was like, oh god, I have seen that.
Roger Ebert gives it 3 stars out of what I assume
Beyond the
scale
grave.
of 4.
Well, he had to do that because in hell they'll give him his face back.
So during this incursion, or skirmish rather, Calvin gets captured by Dandy, I think his name is, the translator. And they like kind of string him up, but not enough to kill him. They just string him up by his neck against a tree and just kind of hang him there to slowly choke to death.
This shit is so stupid. This is like one of the dumbest scenes.
They torture him for a while, like beating him up, and like eventually they pour like boiling water down his throat. Like, he's not going to talk then.
Well, the idea was they were like, we can torture him because then it'll bring the other ones to him to rescue him, which is what happens. But for some reason, they're like his buddies are perched out and watching all this happen, and wait till they pour boiling water down his throat, then they start shooting. It's like, why didn't you just do it before all that? I don't know.
They also have a translator that's traveling with them that doesn't need to translate shit because everyone talks perfect fucking English.
It's also, like, bizarre because it looks like almost that they're cutting away from scenes to not show the gore, but it's just incompetence and camera work. Because there's a scene later on in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Where Richard Horn, I don't remember what the actor's name is, the kid from Twin Peaks, throws a punch, but they cut away from it to show nothing, like the side of a house, and then cuts back to it. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and you get later on, you get a person's hand split in half.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Which is, like, actually a pretty cool effect, but it comes way too late. And it's like, I don't care. I just want this movie to be over.
So Calvin ends up getting stabbed and killed because Joshua shot the commander of the platoon's son's brains out. And then the rest of the platoon is hunting Oak and Joshua for, like, 2 hours. 2 hours our time. Not in the movie.
Right.
They're hunting them. They steal a canoe from a French trapper who may as well have just been the whole time just been like,
Alouette.
Can we stop on this for half a second? Like, I love the idea that they're like, we're gonna trade you this tomahawk for a canoe. That's like, it's like. I guess I don't know what the thought process is there because the canoe you definitely need to get around, and like it's like you can fashion yourself a new canoe using this tomahawk. It'd be like, I'm going to take your car, but I'm going to give you this, like, milling machine, and you can make yourself a new car. Like,
yeah, a wrench. I'm going to take your car, but I'll give you a wrench for it. Yeah. It's a nice wrench. It's like a Milwaukee.
But he's also, in like, trying to make the trade, he's holding the tomahawk at him, like, in a threatening manner. Yeah. He doesn't understand English. He's take this tomahawk.
Why does he not, I know it's for the purposes of the movie, but it's so dumb. Like, why does he not offer to him handle side first?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like Alex said, like, it's like, if you offered it handle side first, that is a non-verbal, like, you can understand that is not
like a universal gesture.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that is not a threatening motion. But when you come at somebody with a fucking axe, it's like, hey,
Bart, check out my new hockey mask and chainsaw.
I forget who it is. It was maybe David Tell, but he's like, don't worry about a guy when he's holding a beer by the base. Worry about it when he's holding it by the neck. It's like, it's true. It's, you know.
They get upriver to the not retreat. What's the word for the religious thing?
It's a mission.
Mission. They get to the mission, and in the mission, her family is supposed to be there. Some extended family. They get there and they're all slaughtered. Turns out somehow canoeless the platoon beat them there and killed everybody.
Yeah, they got their
Then they proceed-
split.
Yeah. Then they proceed to kill Joshua and Oak after Joshua cuts the dude with the gooey eye. After he cuts his throat with a shaving razor.
Yeah.
They gut him, spill his guts out all over the place, and then they stick a knife through Oak's hand to hold her up against the cross, and then shoot her in the chest. And this is the part where the movie, it took way too long to get to this part and didn't go far enough with it when it did.
Yeah.
This is when this movie should have turned all supernatural. Well, not this. It should have happened earlier. Like, there was one little scene, I think, where they, like,
It's like a dream,
hinted at,
dream sequences.
but, like, the supernatural aspects are not as, like, awe-inspiring or impactful as they should have been and could have been.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, as
TJ
soon
will
as
get
it went
the
to,
reference.
like,
What did TJ do?
You'll get this. Like, I don't know if the other guys have seen the movie, but like this feels a lot like Hold the Dark in places, and movies made by a much better filmmaker and still isn't that good.
Yeah, no, it's not. I also was reminded of like I feel like you were led to believe that you were going to be stuck with the two characters for the whole movie, and then they kill them off, and it's shocking, but then they don't really do anything with it. Like, I don't really feel like the movie pays off, like, and it's like, okay, so the whole movie was really the girls' movie the whole time, but like you didn't earn that. Like,
They could have made this movie, I think to Alex's point, they could have made this movie like The Crow, right? And you open with the murders, and the rest of the movie is her in like shaman bone armor exacting revenge. Like, that's a better movie.
oh, yeah, absolutely.
that would have
But,
been
like, when it-
fucking sick. I would have loved that.
When it started going, like, crazy, like, spiritual, like, I was just sitting there, like, waiting. Like, I want to see, like, a fucking Wendigo or, like, Skinwalkers or some weird, gross, like, Native American folklore stuff.
Yeah,
like don't be,
But
don't be
she
afraid
just
to
killed the guys, like, she killed the guys and, like, fairly, I mean, she decapitated the one guy.
yeah.
The
You
other
didn't
guy,
get to
she
see
just,
that.
no,
It
the
wasn't-
other guy, she just stuck a knife in his brain, or a stick in his brain.
Well, she
Yeah.
fucked his leg up. She
Temple.
fucked up John Huber's leg pretty bad, which was good.
Yeah, but, like, none of it's, like, the like, I want to see, like, her, like, ripping them apart.
Mhm.
Like, with the Native American spirits of her ancestors or whatever. Like, I want to see her destroying these people.
You want to see, what was his name in Mortal Kombat? Was it Ghost Wolf? What was the guy? Or am I thinking of Killer Instinct? Who's the
Night
Night
Wolf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
full Night Wolf.
So she kills John Huber, she kills the translator, and then she, like, hunts, whatever his name is, Hezekiah back, and forces him to retreat back to the fort that he came from that's now full of all the dead bodies of his other soldiers, so they have a final battle. But, like, in this final battle, like, he's getting licks in. Like, this,
Yeah,
it should just be...
I hated
her,
this.
it should just be her obliterating him.
Yeah,
Like,
And
she
it-
should be absolutely decimating him. And she does, but he shouldn't be able to, like...
well, she
Even, like, get a
pretty
breath.
bad. This is where that hand splitting thing happens. It's like, I totally agree with you, dude. Like, I was like, why is it felt like wrestling, right? Like, why is he getting so much shit in? Like, like, also, this is like the end of the movie. Like, there's not anything after
Hey.
this. And it's like, why didn't she just
Should've been-
mop the floor with him?
Saying it should have been a squash match, is what you're saying.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
should. If anything, if you want to draw it out, she gets the drop on him and then, like, tortures him to death. Like, something, because that guy has been a piece of shit through the whole movie. So, like, to get his comeuppance, he'd have to really get fucked up. Also, you see that guy's ass in the movie in a scene that's, like, completely insane, where it's like all his, like, his regiment, whatever you want to call it. They're like, man, that was a pretty tough fight. I'm sorry that his son died. And then they just pan over to him, and he's butt-ass naked. And he's like, guys, if you could be quiet, I'm trying to wash the blood of my son off of my dick.
And there's and he picks a piece of his kid's brains out of his beard or something and sniffs it.
Also, that guy is one of the worst actors I've ever seen in my fucking life. He's so bad and overacts he feels like he's Wesker or something out of Resident Evil.
I thought he was one of the better.
I hate it. Oh my god, I thought he was so terrible. Bad. He felt he literally to me felt like Resident Evil 1 cutscene bad. He's everything he said was over delivered and Sean mentioned it early on, but his accent goes all over the place. It starts out as Southern, then he tries to reel it back in, and it's bad. He to me was one of the worst things about this fucking movie. I hated him so much, and not to use another wrestling term, it was go home heat. I know he's the villain, but I hated him for the wrong reasons. He had X-Pac heat. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the movie, right? We got
that's the movie. There's a tiny little scene where I guess some of her extended family shows up after.
Oh, the Force Ghost?
Yeah,
is that what it was?
It was the Force Ghost scene. I couldn't tell if they were real,
so.
if they were fake.
Were they dead already?
I don't
know. I thought it was different people, but I really wasn't paying.
Yo, what the fuck were they doing? Well, I guess she'll handle it.
Yeah, well, she got her endgame armor on, so she's fine.
Yeah, obviously she was all right.
She's in her tier 3. She'll be okay.
Yeah, I hated this movie a lot. I felt like Alec in Goggs' basement. I checked out of this movie in record time. I had a really hard time paying attention to this movie.
It's weird because I don't think, besides the atrocious camera work and the terrible acting, I don't think it was technically incompetent. I think there's a movie to be made here.
But don't forget that dumb story.
Yeah, well, they're doing a thing where they're trying to make current day politics applicable to shit that happened in fucking donkey years.
Yeah.
And they lean on it really hard, and it's we get it, and also it doesn't work the same way because there's nothing subtle. I mean, not that racism's super subtle now, but there's nothing subtle patriotism and nationalism about that back in the day. And it's they also weren't that kind of nationalist. They just hated the British. I don't know, man.
This to me felt like a shittier version of a movie I talked about a while back called The Nightingale. Different time period, different place in the world, but kind of the similar storyline where it's about racism back then and how people can overcome that, and it's violent. And that movie is way better, way better.
This is a movie where it feels like the writer thinks they have a lot to say about something, but really doesn't.
Yeah, and at the end of it, I'm what was that? What was even the fucking point? I don't know. I had such a hard time with this, and then I felt conceptually it's a mess. I already talked about the score. I hated the score. I didn't understand it. I thought that
Deus Ex.
I thought exactly, but why? Why does it sound like Deus Ex? Also, I felt there's something about the camera work in this movie where it felt like something I would have watched on PBS in 1996. I don't know. There's just something really flat about everything that's shot in this movie when they're not shooting weird cutaways, like Sean said. Everything else just looks really flat and weird, and there's a lot of I felt like the director thinks that he's doing something interesting with a lot of his weird tight push-ins and stuff, and I don't know, none of it worked for me. None of it. I hated it. I felt like this movie, and then by the time it gets to the end, and you're oh, it's like I said a little while ago, it's oh, it's her movie. Well, then why did it take so long to get to her? She's barely touched on in the beginning of the movie.
Well, maybe the guy who wrote it just saw 30 minutes of Last of the Mohicans in a bar with the sound on. He's I get the gist.
You can do that, right? If you're a good movie, you can do that. No Country for Old Men is not about Llewellyn. Like, Llewellyn you stick with through the majority of that movie, but then he dies, and you're like, holy shit, like, that's wild. And then you realize that it's not about Llewellyn. It's about Tommy Lee Jones's character, whose name eludes me right now.
He's the old man. He's the titular old man.
Yeah. But, like, that movie is a masterpiece, and it's also written by one of the greatest writers, like, in history, next to Sean.
This movie also has a lot of, like, Bone Tomahawk in it, which is another movie that introduces mysticism, like, not enough or way too late. It's like, what's going on?
Another movie that people love that I can't fucking stand.
Yeah.
I hate that movie so much.
Can we talk about one scene in this movie that threw me for a loop? Was when they're hunting them and they find the cave that they were going to hide in. Like, the shot that they initially show makes it look like the cave is, like, the size of, like, the entrance to the cave would be like walking into my basement. And they walk up next to it, and the cave is, like, smaller than a manhole cover. And they're like, okay, let's sneak your way into that.
Well, this whole movie, he probably saved 80% of his budget because they didn't film anywhere. They just went to the woods.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So, like,
there should have been, like, a jogger going through the background at some point.
They were just like, I guess that'll work for the cave. Like, it's the biggest one we've seen.
Yeah.
Somebody get all the possums out of there.
Let's get a theatrical release.
God, really?
I'm trying to see if it actually got it.
Yeah, I'm looking at this guy's IMDb, and, like, nothing he's written or directed I recognize.
The film was released in selected cinemas and then on video on demand on March 2nd, 2018. You can buy the soundtrack, TJ.
Oh, boy.
I mean, I guess, like, a lot of movies, like, most movies are released at least in selected cinemas because people know people and
that is true.
Can get their, like how much garbage gets pumped into the Charles that nobody's ever heard of just for, like, 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, or even smaller theaters than that. I remember one time I went and saw a movie that was premiered in that old movie theater in Frederick that, like, some guy made, and, like, 30 people saw it, and it was horrible.
The movie or the theater, or both?
No, the theater's nice. The movie was terrible. The theater is super nice. I love those kind of old-style movie theaters.
I can't do them anymore. Just kill me. I need the recliner.
The chairs are shitty.
I need the automatic recliner.
I can respect.
Chairs are so nice.
I can respect that. Anything else you want to talk about before we get into our final judgments? Alec, you kind of like this movie. What did you like about it?
I don't know. Like,
it's probably just the bounce from not being Cosmic Sin.
It didn't do what I wanted it to do, and I probably would have actually liked it if it would have gone, like, crazy with the Native American, like, horror imagery in the second half.
Yeah, because that armor and shit is awesome.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, she just, like, finds, like, a pile of bones. I was like, fuck it, I'm making fucking armor out of it. I'm gonna kill these guys. After she got shot in the guts and stabbed through the hand.
That shit rocks.
I don't know. I didn't find it, like, great, but I didn't find it offensive either. Like, it was fine. But, like, I think Cosmic Sin just drug me down so much last week. And before that, we watched 21 Bridges, which is another movie. It's better than this, but
still not very good.
Man, yeah, like, I don't know. It was okay.
Yeah, I'm in a bad way with movies right now because, like, at least Midori was, like, interesting. It was horrific, but I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. But, like, between Cosmic Sin and Kong vs. Godzilla and 21 Bridges, like, I need to get back to... I felt like Sean, like, in the beginning of the show, where he's like, I don't know if I like movies anymore. Like, I got to get back to something that's, like, good. Like, I don't know. And now, like, it's funny because all the fucking film groups I'm in, like, people are talking about Promising Young Woman like it's, like, an amazing movie. And I'm like, do I just, like, what's wrong with me? Because I absolutely despise that fucking movie. I can't imagine liking that movie. And people are like, it's a masterpiece. And I'm like, I don't know. Have I reached my limit? Like, am I done? Like, I don't know. Anyway,
there's no movies for old men. Like, that's the way it's worked out. Like, it's. I mean,
that's not true at all, though. Like, movies are the one thing that do cater to old men. So
just embrace the change of life and watch Thunder Force, and you're gonna love it.
I will watch Thunder Force. I will. I don't know if actually Thunder Force looks horrendous, but I will definitely watch the Eric Andre movie because I love Eric Andre.
It's really funny.
And I think he's.
Like, I haven't laughed that hard at a movie since Good Boys.
Have you
And
watched
Good
his
Boys
show?
Outstanding. I've seen some of it.
It's very funny.
I know him more from the memes from his shows.
Yeah,
and his
there's a lot of memes. The best part about Eric Andre's show is there's a running bit where he just randomly just starts killing people on his set, which is always very funny. Like he just pulls a gun and starts shooting everybody. There's one where he just murders his band. It's great. It's great. Anyway. All right, 5 Knuckle Shuffle time.
Gogs.
2.
Oh.
like it's not. So we're post Cosmic Sin, right? So we got get out of that.
We got to recalibrate.
Right, everything's got recalibration, right? It's not a 0. It's something, but it's not something good. But it's not like I'm not angry. I'm just confused, but not in a good way. Like there's a better movie in it, right? If it's the Native American Crow movie where we start with her getting murdered, and then it's her stalking them through the forest in like the armor and fucking crazy shit, I'm into that. No one's motivation makes a ton of sense. Like the British dude's like, I'm gonna give you 100 axes to go to war with America. Like, okay, that's a weird trade-off. Like if I went to TJ, I'm like, hey TJ, look, I'm gonna give you 4 Xbox Ones to go bomb the U.S. consulate. Your thoughts? Like it doesn't make a ton of sense.
I would do it. Yeah, I would do it.
Everyone's banging each other, but they're not. It's shot weird. The story's kind of a mess. Like I don't know. Like the stalking platoon of guys hunting the Native Americans could have been. The pacing's all wrong. It's not abhorrent, but it's just not good. So yeah, it's a 2. Sean,
I'm gonna give it a 2 also. Because I like the Mohawk makeup, like their kind of Furiosa, and then I like that the Day of Reckoning full bottom mask makeup. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty sweet.
But beyond that, like I found this movie and Luke Harper's good,
and he's in it the whole time, which I think is he didn't just show up as like a heavy in one scene. Like he's in it.
To be honest, like I found the movie because of the camera work to be like almost wholly unwatchable. Like I could not sit there and watch the whole thing like I would anything else. Like it's confusing as to why they thought that would work. Like it's supposed to be intense or whatever, but it almost made it feel like you're watching a This Is Spinal Tap or like a fake documentary about what was going on or like The Office or some shit. I found it like distractingly bad.
Film verite.
Yeah. I did not care for this movie. I recognized that I think because I texted you guys towards the beginning of it, it's like I don't think this is that bad, but I just can't get into it. And then I just I kind of lost the plot after a while. I just didn't care for it. Alec.
It's like a 7.
A 7.
You almost gave TJ an aneurysm. He came out with a
That is certainly a take.
No, it's I'll give it a 5.
He faked me out. That son of a bitch.
Wait. Before we're gonna
a fake
outs. There's one scene in the movie where I feel like when you're watching football and there's a misdirection play and the camera goes the wrong way and then they realize there was one of those that happened. Like it was after the kid got shot, before the guy got nude to wash his son's blood off. There's a scene where the camera tracks right, then realizes it's supposed to go left, and it does that.
Yeah, a similar thing happened with that's what I was talking about at the end, where non-union Mexican Dan Stevens is punching somebody, and it just goes to the wrong fucking shot.
Anyway, sorry, Alex. Let's continue.
Now, this movie's wholly forgettable, which is a shame. I'm not going to remember this movie in a week, but it's a shame because it had potential. Some of the themes and things that they did in the beginning I liked, and if they would have kept going in the darker, weirder direction with it, I think it would have been wholly enjoyable. But with what they did. Like, this is a movie that when I'm doing the movies, I'm going to be like, Mohawk? What was that? And then have to like literally look it up. Like, oh yeah, no, I can't remember that.
Is this John Huber's only acting credit?
I believe he had one other one, but it was like in a TV show, like probably like you said, a TV show for like an episode.
Gotcha.
Because I was looking through, he has like credits listed for like every fucking episode of every wrestling show he was on. It's like 450 credits or something like that.
Technically, I guess he is an actor in that. So.
Did you get a SAG card if you're
literally the same thing?
No, because you're not, because WWE is not union.
Yeah, that's true.
Who's left? TJ? Everybody?
Me.
The first one? TJ?
Me. This is a 1 for me, dog. I fucking hated this movie. Like, I think this movie is garbage. I had a hard time finishing it. Part of it is I probably started it too late. I think I started watching this at like 11 o'clock at night, and the whole time I was just like, I want to go to bed. I hate this movie. This movie sucks. Like, I also was having problems. Like, it's the one time I've been had problems with my Plex where the fucking movie kept like skipping, and I was like, "What the hell's going on?"
It must have been the movie. Because I had that same problem with yours.
Well, it might have been it must have been the file then. Either way, I ended up. It's free. It was on Shudder for free, so I watched.
It would get like pink and green glitches through it. Yep, I had the same thing.
It must have been the file. But anyway, I hated this. It was like a gritting your teeth to just get through this fucking thing. I thought it was funny when the guy was naked for no reason. Like, I had a really good time with that scene because, like, they were really just like, it was just two guys talking, and then all of a sudden they pan over. There's this fucking old man naked. I'm like, what the fuck?
It would have been better if they went to go comfort him and, like, I'll put their arms around him, like, you'll be okay, man.
Yeah, it was so fucking stupid. And then the translator was, like, really dumb. He's in the movie Dead Girl, which I really like. I was watching the movie. I was like, I know that guy from somewhere.
He's in Knives Out, and he was in the Rian Johnson Star Wars movie too.
So he directed.
I'm sure he'll be in Knives Out 2 and 3 then soon.
But he's good in Dead Girl. But the acting is horrible. The plot is horrible. Everything's horrible about this movie. The movie picks up in the last 10 minutes, and then it's over. Like, I kind of like where they went. You can't. If you started this movie with the Native American girl and her two boyfriends are dead and she's going on revenge, much better, and hunting the troops in the woods, that's a fucking cool movie. Native American predator with like supernatural powers. I'll watch that all day long. But instead, you got like 75% just fucking bullshit. And then 25% of, like, I don't know, like, you kind of get a movie and then it's over. And I hated it. I hate this director. I hope he never makes another movie. I hope his family's ashamed of the choices that he's made in life. I fucking hate this guy. His other movie sucks. Wouldn't it be funny if this is the one fucking director that listens to the show? But,
they find out,
Ted, he heard last week that we're watching Mohawk. He's like, "Oh, fuck yeah,
yeah, right."
You're gonna love it.
Well, I think it's funny too because like I've already gotten flack for my opinion when I said that Godzilla vs. King Kong is a movie for retards. So I'm sure I'll just continue my streak of making people mad.
Is it because of the opinion or because you said retards like 7 times?
Kind of both. I hate that. I hate Kong versus Godzilla, and I'm like disgusted by people that like it. I think it's ridiculous, and you're lying to yourself. You're the worst kind of people in like geek culture, where it's like, hey, I recognize a thing. This must be good. Like, fuck off. Like, just kill yourself.
Promising young director Ted Geohagen found dead in his garage after listening to Movie the Podcast review with Mohawk.
That's fine. I mean, at least he won't. At least we saved people from any other movies this guy's gonna fucking make.
Oh.
Like, awful. Like, it's just terrible. Just don't ever. Just stop. That's all. I'm done.
He's got more production credits than he has anything else.
Yeah, well, people that can't produce, right? Like, it's like, what's that
Technically,
like?
I produced the movie.
Yeah, that's right.
He was an actor,
and you own movie
and you own Movie Phone or whatever the hell you have stock in.
Movie Phone. What are we watching next week, everybody? I know we're skipping format.
Are we watching Belly, right?
Why do you say right? You're the one that fucking put it.
Well, I'm making sure we're all in agreement. Yes, we're watching DMX.
Hell yeah, we're watching Belly.
Yes.
Interesting note about Belly and me. Well, first of all, I've seen that movie, I think, 19 times. Like, no bullshit. And my buddy had got, like, one of the first surround sound systems and DVDs when Belly came out, and the cops came to his apartment because they thought there was a shootout in there when we were watching it.
Shit, when that came out, I still had a VHS player because it came on an all-white VHS tape. I remember that. Yeah. The fuck? Anyway, RIP DMX. We're watching Belly next week. We are skipping format. Did DMX ever show up in wrestling? I feel like he would have showed up in wrestling.
He showed up in those badass Def Jam.
Those games ruled.
Was he in the Def Jam? Was he in the Def Jam fighting games? Wasn't he?
I think he was in the second one.
Yeah.
The third one nobody liked.
The third one was bad, but the second one was good. And for you wrestling nerds out there, those Def Jam games were supposed to be WCW Backstage Mayhem or whatever those games are called. That was supposed to be the sequel to that, and then that WCW fell through, so they turned it into the Def Jam game.
Yeah, they've been kicking around doing a sequel forever, and they just won't do it. I don't know why.
It's a shame, especially if they used like that same engine. Like, it was such a fun game.
Yeah, he was in Def Jam Vendetta.
Yeah, it was the second one. Those games were so, like, I don't know. Those, and like, why doesn't somebody make a wrestling game?
Those were dumb fun. Those were like great.
Why doesn't somebody make like a new version of like WWE or WrestleMania 2000? You know, like with that same control style, it would be amazing.
Isn't that what they're doing with the what the fuck is it? AEW game? Isn't Aki making it?
I think Aki's making it, but I don't know if that's the way it's going to control. I hope.
Yeah, I got WWE 2K17 or 18, and like I couldn't do anything.
It's not great. I have the newest one.
I couldn't do like literally any moves. I just got the shit kicked out of me. So I just played around with all the intros forever.
Yeah, it's not. It's too simulation. Like nobody wants that. Make it arcadey and fun, so you can just pick it up and play it. All right, everybody. Well, that's a show. Website's kind of back.
Yeah, slowly
like
getting
and
there.
Subscribe. Apparently, we're good on iTunes now, but Spotify's still acting weird. So
I mean, all of 2020 is not showing up.
I know
the new ones are showing up.
I think I know how to fix that. I got to fix that myself. But we're working on it. But still, like and subscribe. I'm going to continue to post everything on YouTube and the website. So, like and subscribe. Look at Alex titties, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Later.